They're the fastest metal cars you've ever seen. Mattel's new Hot Wheels.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin and welcome to my all-new Hot Wheels series. As you know, for the last few weeks I've been starting to show Hot Wheels on my channel. I'm not doing away with the rockets by any means. Trust me, I am still 110% into rocketry. But I'm in a rut right now. I'm working on a major rocket project and it's tied me up from being able to fly much. I'm not being able to film. I'm filming the building process, but I haven't finished it yet, so I can't release the build video. But trust me, rockets are coming, bigger, better, faster, funner, all that good stuff. But I do want to highlight something I experienced today for the first time ever. And that's, for you guys that have been collecting Hot Wheels for a while, this is absolutely nothing. But I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube and I'm learning about the different cases and what cards come in what case and the treasure hunts and the super treasure hunts. I've yet to find a treasure hunt or a super, and that's fine. I'll just keep looking and having fun for the, searching. But I stumbled upon a set of cars on the pegs at the local Fry's grocery store, and they're E-case cars. And I've been watching a lot of E-case openings, and I think they're phenomenal. So I picked up 6, and I'm going to highlight those in today's video. I just want to tell you I'm enjoying the hobby. I'm enjoying the learning process, and because my videos, as you notice, I tend to give a little bit of historical background on the cars. Some of you find that interesting, some of you don't, and that's fine. I love it. I crave the history of things, and that's what makes it fun for me. So I'm going to get these cars, show them to you, then I'll rip them open the clean way, and then we'll do a little background on each car. So the first car I picked up is the Toyota GR86 Cup. Okay. Then the second one is the 2015 Mazda MX-5 Miata. Then next up we've got the Porsche 904 Carrera GTS. We've got the 76 Chevy Chevette. Then we've got the Ford Escort. Now this has a little bit of an interesting history from what I've been learning, and I'll fill you in on more on the details, but this isn't just a Ford Escort. There's more to it than that, so we'll learn more about that here in a bit. And last but not least, this is going to throw you. You're going to be like, what on earth, Kevin, are you doing? I got a skull shaker. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. It just looks fun, and for $1, why not? So I'm going to go ahead and open these cars up, turn the camera around, and we will do a little background on each vehicle. Okay, first up we've got the Toyota GR86 Cup. This is numbered 79 out of 250. Gorgeous casting, and the paint job is just phenomenal. That just screams speed, doesn't it? It's like I can't wait to just take this down and run it down my track. That is just superb looking. So the Toyota GR86 is a pretty new design. It was designed in 2024 as part of the Hot Wheels J Imports series. It was designed by Brian Benedict, and this is the second iteration of this car. The Toyota GR86 Cup is a racing version of the Toyota GR86, used in the one-make Toyota GR Cup Racing Series. The GR86 Cup uses a 2.4-liter FA24 flat 4 mated to a SEDEV 6-speed sequential transmission, creating about 228 horsepower. The car is generally quite similar to its road-going counterpart, but features a high-strength FAIA specification roll cage and other race-related modifications. The initial release is a replica of Tony Bredinger's Toyota GR86 Cup car. The model was first presented in a one-off form in 2023, but later given multiple modifications for simplification and for use in the main line owing to the line's budgetary restrictions. Now, from its 2024 debut card, it read on the back, born in 2022 Japan, designer Toyota. Speed passed the competition in Tony Bredinger's GR86 Cup car. It's one of the many race-ready versions that have been homologated using the same parts to compete in the GR Cup single-make racing series. And you can see here on the back of today's card, it says it's part of the Compact Kings series. It says compact racers that may be small in size, but huge in personality. So there you have this gorgeous casting. Let's take another close look at this thing up close and personal. I'm assuming HWRT is Hot Wheels Racing Team. Hot Wheels graphics right there under the 16. Sparco Bridgestone tires. Looks like the fronts and rears are the same. Nice beefy spoiler in the back. Look at that front end. That looks mean, don't it? Very cool looking. Little air scoop on top of the hood there. Let's take a look at the base. There you go. All right, so that does it for the first car of my e-case buying experience. That was a lot of fun. Okay, the second car that I picked up from the e-case was number 80 out of 250, sequential to the last one, which was 79, and that was just by coincidence. But we've got the 2015 Mazda MX-5 Miata. That is one sporty looking little coupe right there, isn't it? A little fuzz on top of the windshield there. That is just beautiful. So we'll look at that more in detail here after a bit. So let's learn more about the Miata. Okay, the 2015 Mazda MX-5 Miata made its debut with Hot Wheels in 2016 as part of the Night Burners collection. And this car was made by the late great Ryu Asada. That explains why it's such a gorgeous casting. And this car's been around a while, again, since 2016, so this is its 9th year of existence. And this is actually its 13th iteration as of this casting here. The Mazda MX-5, known as the Roadster in Japan, and the MX-5 Miata in North America, is a lightweight two-seat sports car manufactured by Mazda. The fourth generation, internally designed by the ND, is the current generation of the MX-5 and produced since 2015. Styled by Masashi Nakayama, the MX-5 is shorter and lighter than its predecessor and was unveiled in September 2014. The base model MX-5 is powered by a 1.5-liter Skyactiv G P5 VPS inline formated to a 6-speed Skyactiv MT manual transmission. The MX-5 has been updated in 2018, 2021, and 2024. This casting depicts a 2015 Mazda MX-5 with aftermarket additions such as a front splitter, rear diffuser, side skirts, and a large rear spoiler. This die-cast Hot Wheels model is a tuned Mazda MX-5 Miata ND, the fourth generation of the MX-5 Miata produced from 2015 to the present. It has aftermarket additions such as front splitter, rear diffuser, side skirts, and a large rear spoiler as well. And it was part of the Night Burner set 3 times in its lifetime, initially in 2016, then again in 2018 and 2019. And as you all know, the Night Burners collection are serious looking sports cars. So it's quite a recognition to get a car in the Night Burner set in 3 different years. And on the back of its debut 2016 card, it read, "Born in 2015 in Hiroshima, Japan, designer was Mazda. Specialty, the track-tuned suspension, downforce, daring rear wing, and crash-defying roll cage make this modified roadster a lap-blasting force." So there you have the history on the 2015 Mazda Miata. Now let's get up close and personal. Let's look at this. First off, just the fact that you can see in is really interesting because you can see all the detail. Now, this is a right driving vehicle. I didn't realize that until right now. I just noticed the steering wheel's on the right hand side. Pretty detailed on the center console with the shifter and the parking brake. You can see the roll cage extending up behind the seats here. Beautiful red. You know, I love this red. Just like it was on that Toyota Supra out of the Night Burner selection. You can see the Mazda emblem there, very prominent on the front hood. You can see the front splitter, that grille. Yeah, there's the rear, the diffusers. Then you got your exhaust. Beautiful casting, absolutely gorgeous car. This looks like it's going to go pretty fast down the track. Let's take a look at the base. All right, so there you have it. There's car number 2. Next up is the Porsche 904 Carrera GTS, and that just screams European racing right there. Any sports car division that races over in Europe, no doubt, is quite familiar with a sight like that. That is just a beautiful looking Porsche. So let's learn more about this car in particular. This car is number 100 out of 250, and it's part of the race day series, number 3 out of 10. In the back says Hot Wheels race day. These speed demons prove any day is a great day to hit the track. Amen to that. All right, let's learn more about this Porsche. The Porsche 904 Carrera GTS made its debut with Hot Wheels as part of the 2024 Hot Wheels Exotic series. It was designed by Fraser Campbell, and in only 2 years of existence of this casting, this is already the 4th iteration of the car. The Porsche 904 was a racing sports car manufactured by Porsche from 1964 to 1965. Designed by Ferdinand Alexander Porsche, the 904 was Porsche's first sports car since withdrawing from Formula One in 1962. The Carrera GTS, powered by a 2.0-liter 587 3 flat 4, was introduced in 1963 to compete in the FIA GT category at various international racing events. 106 chassis were produced for street legal compliance. The initial livery of this casting is based on chassis 904-005, driven by Antonio Pucci and Colin Davis to victory for Porsche System Engineering in the 1964 Targa Florio. And on the back of its debut card, which was last year, it said born 1964 in Germany. Designer was Porsche. Experienced the rich history of the successor to the 718 RSK. Not only is it the first Porsche with the fiberglass body and mid-engine to ever be sold, but it also came in first and second place at the 1964 Targa Florio. So there you have it. You have a wonderful history of a car that its racing career was, in my opinion, rather short-lived. I'm surprised it only ran for a couple of years, from 64 to 65, but it proved itself. I mean, it's... And can you believe that? So, awesome little racer. Again, it screams speed. And you can see how the later Formula GT cars, like the Shelby Cobra and the Ferraris, mimicked somewhat of the same style lines with the swoops over the fenders, and just a gorgeous, gorgeous car. Let's see if we can see in the window. There's a half window on the I want to say driver's side, but that might actually be. Oh no, that is the driver's side. Okay, so they do run the driver's seat on the left steering wheel. You can see how the windshield wiper would, in fact, clean off the driver's side. Center console's got a shifter in there. Like that little, let's see, Carrera GTS emblem right there, number 63. There's the Porsche logo on the left front fender. Real sleek. Let's take a look at the bottom. All right, there we have it. The Porsche 904 Carrera GTS. Beautiful. Next up is the 1976 Chevy Chevette, and this particular car is numbered 102 out of 250. And this is an intriguing car to me, and I I don't know if I'm going to do what I'll tell you what I plan on doing with it in the future, but I don't know if I want to use this casting or a previous year's casting. That might make my job a little easier. But I do want to do a modification to a Chevette at some time in my life, and I'll tell you why later. But let's take a look at this drag racing NHRA Chevy Chevette, which you don't think of as a classic dragster, but any car with a big enough engine could require a wheelie bar and go to town. So let's learn more about this car. The 1976 Chevy Chevette made its debut with Hot Wheels as part of the Flying Custom series in 2013. It was designed by Brendan Vitoski, and this is the fourth iteration of this car. However, it's been around a while, as you can see. The 76 Chevy Chevette casting was designed as if it was a pro street car built in the 80s. It's styled with a tubbed sheet metal interior, roll cage, fiberglass front clip, and a hood scoop. The casting received a plastic base in 2023 for mainline use, along with other minor tooling changes. Okay, so here we have the Chevy Chevette, and what I wanted to share with you earlier is when I was born, the earliest recollection of having a family car was my parents' blue Chevy Chevette. It looked nothing like this one other than maybe the round top and the hatchback. But the fronts and the rears, I believe, were the same size tires. It definitely didn't have an air scoop, and it probably didn't have a 1 million horsepower engine like this probably does, nor a wheelie bar. But what I'm thinking of doing is at some point getting a casting of this car. If I have to grind down the air scoop, remove the wheelie bar, equalize the tires, I would like to paint one in sky blue or real light baby blue, which is what, again, I grew up as a young boy riding along with my mom and dad, and half the time wearing a seatbelt, half not. It was the 70s. Driver's side steering there, you can see the steering wheel. But beautiful racing emblems, which is not typical of your normal day-to-day Chevy Chevette. But this again was obviously modified to be a drag racer. NHRA. Let's take a look at the bottom there. Beautiful. Very cool. So one of these days I'll do a customized video on a sky blue Chevy Chevette. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Okay, next up we've got the Ford Escort. Now there is a strange little historical background to this vehicle that I'm going to try to explain best I can. The problem is I don't fully understand it myself. So maybe by reading through the history with you, we can as a team figure out what the history of this car really is. So let me get right into it and I'll tell you what I mean. So the Ford Escort, also I've determined has been called the Escort Rally, which this car is. The original Ford Escort was first designed in 1983 by Larry Wood. Now in 1998, this particular version, known as the Escort Rally, made its debut as part of the 1998 First Editions series, and it was designed and basically retooled from Larry Wood's design by Phil Reelman. Okay, so Phil Reelman redesigned it in '98, and that original design ran through 2019. However, back in 2017, he retooled it a little bit more, even though it went a couple more years with its original retool. The modification he made was 2 years prior, and that's what we're looking at here is an iteration of his 2017 retool design. Now the Escort Rally was retooled without a spoiler on top, mainly for use in multi-packs and other similar series. Now all releases of this car, in whatever variation or form it's in, is named the Ford Escort. Now, the 1983 Hot Wheels debuted the Ford Escort, which was a replica of the European Ford Escort XR3. To those in North America, the Escort was something new, but in Europe, the Escort name had been around since 1968. The Escort Rally is the second iteration of the Ford Escort Hot Wheels and has replicated as a casting in and of its own. Fitted with rally-style front lights and a top-lip wing on the rear, this particular version of the Escort is the European market exclusive RS Cosworth version of the Escort, which went from 1993 through 96. The RS stood for Rally Sport, and Cosworth was referring to the racing engine in England that has supplied the engine for the model, which was a 2.0 Cosworth YBT. From the factory, the engine produced 227 brake horsepower, but it can be tuned, get this, up to 1,000 horsepower. There was also a Cosworth version of the Ford Sierra. The RS Cosworth was often nicknamed Cossie by fans, and one notable owner being the BBC Top Gear presenter Jeremy Clarkson, whom described the car the ultimate hot hatchback in one of his episodes of his series, which was called Clarkson's Car Years in 2000, and it was broadcasted on the BBC network. So there's a little history on the Ford Escort / Escort Rally. This car's been around a long time. It's undergone several modifications by more than one designer, both Larry Wood and Phil Reelman. And I hope a little bit of that made sense. There was some overlap in the designs as well. And so we're just going to have to take it at face value that this is the third or fourth, I think, iteration of different designs, but I could be wrong. So here we have it, up close and personal. We'll take a look at it. This is obviously a rally racing version of it. It's got the racing headlights on the front end. It's got the Ford emblem on the left front fender. Hot Wheels graphics, number 17. Bilstein Sparco decal. I'm not sure what that little mark there is. Oh, that's, you know what, that's like a little print error, because this is brand new right out of the package. It almost looks like an apple, but then I look at this side and it's nothing, but there's a little scuff there as well. So a little bit of paint missing there right out of the box. So that's unfortunate. Toyo tires. There's the back end. Let's take a look at the base. There you have it. So very simple yet complicated car. I'll leave it at that. So, but a lot of fun, and that looks like it'll go pretty quick down the track. It's got some heft to it. I'll have to weigh it later on. So there you have the Ford Escort. Okay, last but certainly not least, the infamous Skull Shaker. Now, a lot of people like to ask why, but I like to respond with why not? And that's the case we have with the Skull Shaker. This isn't not, I mean, it's absolutely not my cup of tea. I'm not into the Hot Wheels fantasy type stuff or these little odd, character looking vehicles. But there's just something about it that grabbed me, and I had to grab it. I can't explain it. I don't like it, but I like it. So let's learn more about the Skull Shaker. Okay, the Skull Shaker made its debut with Hot Wheels as part of the 2018 Experimotors series, and another wonderful design by the late great Ryu Asada. And it's an iconic car, and that's probably one of the main reasons I got it, is just for its historical significance. Since 2018, this is the 10th iteration of this car. Now, the Skull Shaker is a tuned depiction of the Bone Shaker. It features a driver which rumbles around as the car drives along with the help of two tabs on the side of the figure. Now, on the back of the 2018 card, it read, "Born 2018 in El Segundo." That's in California. Designer was Hot Wheels. And it says, "We shook things up with this new take on an old favorite. Sporting a bobblehead skull that shakes as it rolls, the Skull Shaker will have you nodding in agreement that this is one seriously sweet ride. Make no doubt about it, this hot rod will take you to the limit and fracture every race record." Crazy design. Now they talked about tabs on the side. I don't really see them other than there's little tabs right here above the wheel. But the only way those get bumped is if the wheel hits it, but it doesn't quite reach. So I'm not quite sure how that works other than just the force of the car and the gyrations of it make it shake like that. I'm not sure. I'll have to run it on the track and just see what it actually does on a track. That'll be, and I'll probably have to set the camera to slow motion so I can actually see what his head's doing. So just a fun little one-off design. Looks like you got two heads coming at you there, right there and right there. But yeah, who knows? This may end up being the absolute fastest car that I've run down my track, but we'll soon see. Nice little detail work on the castings there. The only tampo really is the Hot Wheels emblem on the right and left side. And let's take a look at the base of the car. The skull shaker. There you have it. So that is the 6th and final vehicle that I purchased today that come out of the new e-case. And I guess they should start becoming more and more frequent as I visit more and more stores as time goes on. And by then, hopefully, F will make its debut on the market. So I'm really enjoying learning all about these cars, learning the history of the company, the castings, and looking forward to what's next around the corner. So, and I want to thank you all for joining me during this adventure. I'm having a ball learning about it, and I hope to get plenty of feedback from you guys. Leave a comment to this video. Let me know what you think, and we, share some knowledge that we can all learn from. That would be awesome. So we're going to do a final little, well, here, let me bring all the cars in, and we'll do a little side-by-side. There. Actually, let's aim these in. Let's get a little symmetrical work going here. And that bone shaker really just throws things off. I'm going to throw him in the middle like that. All right, well, that wraps up this video. Everybody, thanks for watching so much. God bless, and we will see you in the next one.